Gotta answer the question today of what are we expecting from Tyler, the Great Warrior? Alright, don't be like 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. If you've not watched the video from Simo talking about Tyler, the Great Warrior, and the entire process, the final grade, all of that, please do check out the video. I'll have a link down below. You shouldn't be surprised about that. So what in the world is this card? TLDR, Make-A-Wish Foundation many years back. Tyler's wish was to actually get made into a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Ended up beating out and actually is still alive to tell the story today. And the card that he actually got is Tyler the Great Warrior. I think that's the quickest summary that I can do. It's way more in depth over on the other channel. And right now they got the card graded. It came back a 7, centering 9.5, corners 8, edges 8.5, and surface a 6. Beckett gave it a 7. Okay, that's incredibly awesome. So what are we expecting for this? So April 19th, this card is going to be going up on eBay for auction. Now, you're probably asking yourself, we got a 1 out of 1 here, and it's going to go up on the market. Well, Robbie, the only other instance of a 1 out of 1 is the Magic the Gathering ring. This gimmick, the one ring. It says 1 out of 1 on it. Are they comparable? So that's kind of interesting, actually. So, making a serialized version of a card that has many other versions of it versus a truly unique 1 out of 1, you got a lot to really ask yourself there. I don't know if, well, I guess it comes down to the question of, do Magic players have more money versus Yu-Gi-Oh players? And do you value the one ring? You also have an entire franchise from this in Magic, so now you're pulling from double the audience. You got a lot to kind of unpack there with that particular question. I don't think that the 1 out of 1 ring possibly would be as much because it has so many other forms. But once again, you are hitting that hard when you are looking at the particulars of die-hard fans, the need and want to have this, versus it's also Magic versus Yu-Gi-Oh, and you're playing in two different playgrounds of people with money, to kind of keep that in mind. Now, this 1 out of 1 here, I've already read comments from people going, boy oh boy, Moist Critical's going to go in on this. We're going to see Moist actually pick this up. And you got to think about this. This is going to go up on auction, all right? And unfortunately, I really hope that we don't have to deal with the little shill bidders that come through here and lie. They don't actually have the money. They're like, haha, I got involved in this. I don't want to see that. That is a big problem that eBay has, is these little fake accounts that just try to like bump up bidding, and it makes everything a giant hassle. And I'm sure you've heard stories about this. Those are definitely no strange things to be really worried about. So that's one like big scary thing about all of this, is the whole fact that you have to deal with that BS. Now, with that being said, people are wanting to see Moist go into this and pick it up. And I guess the biggest question is what are we expecting monetary value for this? What does something like this, what are we expecting here? Well, I saw a poll recently that expected to see some values on this, and a lot of people were saying about $100,000. Now, I've heard, now we go back to that Magic ring situation here. I've already heard public offers at $100,000 for the one true ring. All right, so now you got to ask yourself, well, wow, if the Magic the Gathering ring 1 out of 1 is going for this, can the Yu-Gi-Oh card actually hit that value? The other big concern that I have for this is how far will this reach publicly? How many ears will this actually reach? That's the biggest thing that you also need to consider for this, is word of mouth needs to get out that this is going to happen. That's why April 19th, that is so many weeks away from the actual point here that it gives people the time to actually see the video, for it to circulate, and for people to become aware that this is going to happen. That's excellent marketing. That's fantastic. All right, now if they just started the auction tomorrow, the day after the video went up, that wouldn't necessarily be a big enough idea, in my opinion. Having the time spread out for things to bid up over this, I think that's fine. Now, a lot of people were also voting towards 100 to 200K. You had a few votes for 400 to 500, and the largest amount of votes were people were saying over $1 million. Now, I don't particularly think that the Yu-Gi-Oh community is going to throw that much money at it. Now, I have talked about the evil people that hide behind the curtain. There is an entire master class of people that exist in this game that do hide behind the shadows, the evil little investor class that have way more money, and these are the people that do pick up these worlds cards, that do pick up these very nice things that the average duelist cannot afford to have. And those are also the people that are dabbling in these $20,000, $30,000 Blue Ice First Edition boxes that Yu-Gi-Oh players look at and they're like, holy crap. Actually, First Edition LB is way beyond that, I feel like, at this point. But you're kind of understanding what's going on here. Like, the high-end market is the closed curtains here. These are the items that are beyond most of the standard reach for the average Yu-Gi-Oh player to comprehend. I don't know how far their pockets go in terms of things. It also depends on how far will this reach the ears of, people maybe not involved in Yu-Gi-Oh. That's why when people were talking about Moist getting involved in this and wanting to pick up this card, obviously it does have ties into Dragon Ball. You look at the card, you know darn well that it's based on Dragon Ball. And for a one-out-of-one piece like this, the question comes down to, well, if Moist does have an interest in this, and you do have, other private investors from other sectors getting involved in this, you might have football players that have very deep pockets that get involved in this. They're like, I can throw $1 million at this. The ceiling is not the limit for this. It's going to come down to word of mouth. It's going to come down to who's going to be involved in this. It's going to be, 3 weeks, 4 weeks time at this point. April 19th, when the show begins. It's going to be very interesting to see. I hope that there's none of those, BS accounts making a gun for this, because that is absolutely ridiculous. And I know that eBay is going to be monitoring the crap out of this auction, especially if eBay's involved in this, they're aware of how big this is. You already had Beckett involved with this as well for the professional grading for this. All of the check marks are checked for this is going to be professionally done. This is going to be very fantastic. I'm also very curious to know how much fees eBay is going to take for this. I would very much like to know some of the back end stuff. If this goes for $1 million and eBay takes 10% of that, there's a lot to think about there. 11%, and then you gotta make sure that thing is handled. Or if you're passing $1 million card, do you take the flight there to personally hand deliver this? I read a transaction a long time ago that was talking about this. You also had the case a long time ago about the 1-out-of-1 Cyber Dragon. I'm not gonna go too much into that because that was an interesting train wreck to watch. But the only thing that's comparable to this right now that people for some reason are pulling from is like the Magic the Gathering ring. There's a public offer of $100,000 that I've heard about. I don't know if it's real. Judging by this card, I'm expecting the evil investor class, the dark curtains to actually come out here. I'd love to see Moist end up with this for his Yu-Gi-Oh collection. I think that'd be fantastic. But looking at how this is going, this is the top of the market, ladies and gentlemen. This is by far one of the rarest things you'll ever see physically hit the market. Yeah, it is a 1-out-of-1. I always wonder on how certain things like this actually, would go on the secondary, and I think we're going to get the chance to see it. So you're going to get to witness one of the coolest things in Yu-Gi-Oh market history here. So what are you expecting? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I do want to hear some of your numbers that you're expecting for this, just out of full curiosity. But, the end of the auction will be public, so that'll be something interesting for us to see. Leave a comment down below what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.